And we are back just like that, back in the mix. Let me just check to make sure these levels are bouncing. It is the Everything is Pro Wrestling podcast. I'm going to go to my Twitter profile to see what episode this is. This is episode 13.
This is 13. I couldn't forget that one. Lucky number 13. So right. This is going to be a great episode. I think we strongly felt 12 is arguably our best yet. Yeah. I think 13 might blow it out the water today, folks.
We're got to improve.
Yeah, well, every week we improve because that's what we do. We're freaking professionals up in this bitch. It's been a busy week in the world of wrestling, friends. A lot to go on in all over the world, really. Every brand basically had their opportunity to shine this week. Saudi Arabia, Vegas, Sexyy Red.
Yep.
So there's a lot to cover.
I forget where she's from. Is she Memphis? Where's she from? I don't even know.
Sexy? Where is Sexyy Red from?
Sexyy Red's from.
Yeah, come on, Nick.
What are you doing?
Nick,
what are we doing?
It's escaping me at the moment. I apologize.
As a Redditor.
I'm letting you guys down. As a Redditor. I love that. That's great.
As a leader of the Redditors, you got to know these things.
You're right.
She's from St. Louis.
Okay.
All right.
Wow.
Missouri. Arches.
Wow.
Arch.
I feel like
not multiple,
see now.
just one.
Now I'm worried. She might sample Air Forces and really fuck the game up.
Oh, no, that would be brutal.
That's sacred.
That is
Sexyy Red makes sense, like St. Louis Cardinals.
Yeah, 100%. Right. She's Joe was drifting red. Yeah.
Yeah.
She is. Let me tell you something about Sexyy Red. Of all the things that happened in the wrestling world this week, yes, we are starting with Sexyy Red.
That's crazy.
Because, I got to say, I didn't know what to expect for when she was going to show up in NXT.
I totally knew what to expect.
She told you, didn't
she? She did.
Her number one fan.
Well, you being the sexy redhead that you are, there should be a space in Sexyy Red, comma, head.
Yep.
No, one. Red
Sexy
head.
redhead?
Like red hair.
Well, you don't have red hair.
No, I don't, but...
Oh, see, I thought you were going like Sexyy Red in parentheses head question mark.
Sexyy Red.
I thought you were like posing a question at the end of that.
We've gotten to PEMDAS. Now we're getting... I don't know.
Fuck, this is our Steiner math.
That's Steiner math.
We took a couple weeks off.
It's got to come in every week.
Steiner math, PEMDAS with the sexy redhead, parentheses, no parentheses. Do you divide first, multiply? Nobody freaking knows. But she was great. I thought her appearance was super funny, and I love that, most normal people walk into a room, they dap everybody up, maybe give them a hug. She just walks in and pops a twerk real quick. She just pops that ass.
I'm the star here.
Like 1 or 2 times. And then that's it. And then she just goes on like nothing. Like she didn't just twerk her ass directly into the camera.
No, literally. 100%. No, I was pleasantly surprised. I know I was a little worried. We were joking last week, is this going to be pre-taped? Because what is she going to do? I'm mad we didn't think about unveiling the North American title. That was dope and unexpected.
That was cool though.
I don't know why I didn't connect it, but it was, that was really, really cool. I think having Ava out there, having her out there, she did it well. Sometimes those little things of just pulling a fucking little curtain off. Sometimes you can fuck that up if you're not
we
around
might be
the business.
To get to later. There was a fuck up in a similar scenario later in the week.
But that she flawlessly executed that, and then obviously her spot later on at night coming out with Javon and Trick for their match, and then Lash coming out. I thought it was so well done. She looked like a natural. Yeah. She really looked, and we talked about it before. She seems like a genuine fan.
Yeah.
As much as she can be while she's a music star. So kudos to her. I thought she did really, really well, to the point of where I think they'll have her back again.
Yeah. It's just also really interesting that the week a mainstream star shows up, it's not what gets talked about on that week's NXT for the most part, because there was a lot.
There was a lot. I mean, you had a couple of very familiar faces if you know wrestling, but not familiar faces to the NXT crowd.
No. Well, to that specific crowd, but yeah, you're right. If that's all you watch, no, you don't know who those people are.
Right. So which was crazy. So now we know Forbidden Door is coming up for AEW.
Yep.
Do you think this is directly a shot back? Is this kind of their way of being like, hey, the old man is gone. Anything you can do, we can now do too?
I've been thinking that for a little bit. I know we talked about it previously where Triple H has had some tweets or some comments or even some of the press releases, some of the verbiage and language they've used. It has felt like it's literally no, we're going to little brother you at every turn because we can. Right. Not necessarily because we need to, but because we can. Yeah. I guess my only fear in that, and not a fear because I think it will be good for the business, is if AEW takes that as, now you're reacting finally. You've never reacted before. Right. So I think either way it's going to be good for the business. It'll just see how far WWE goes in terms of really leaning into it or now getting away from it because it seems like mainstream media, or at least, the smart marks are picking up on it.
Yeah. I definitely do think AEW may have played a factor into this because I have a conspiracy theory about something else that I think AEW plays a factor into. So during King and Queen of the Ring, they made a big point about how SummerSlam in 2 years is going to be in Minnesota, which we talked about last week or 2 weeks ago. I forget when that was.
Are they going abroad for SummerSlam next year?
That's what I'm thinking, because Michael, every time they did the announcement, Michael Cole kept saying, but where is it going to be next year?
He did.
Like,
he already leading
knew.
into it.
Exactly. Yep. And now here's my thing. SummerSlam this year in Cleveland is the beginning of August. Do you know what comes up later in August?
All in
Wembley. What is a better scoop than to then at this year's SummerSlam to say, hey, next year's SummerSlam in Wembley?
And imagine going from Cleveland, Ohio, no shade, to fucking anywhere in Europe, like we said, like Italy, Spain, obviously any of the, like Scotland's, Ireland's, UK, like, that would be.
I mean,
you
what
jump
an
cut
FU.
this year's All In, you beat them to the punch by announcing, hey, next year we're going to be in Wembley. But 3 weeks, 4 weeks, whatever the timeline is, before they're going to more than likely come back for All In again, 2025.
Yeah, that would be insane, and that would be a big, like, it's interesting because that would be a very obvious way of directly taking a shot at them. Yeah. Like, there would be no denying that they were purposely doing that. Right. Although, I mean, it's not as if they haven't done PLEs in Europe.
Right, I mean,
because they have 3 of them this summer.
They've essentially lived in Europe since WrestleMania. So
so it makes sense to, like, hey, why not go to London?
And let's not forget, the London mayor, what was it, like a couple weeks ago, put out a thing that said, if I'm reelected, I want to make this the sports capital. I want to bring in WrestleMania. And Triple H quote tweeted that and said, let's talk. Maybe the talk meant, you're not going to get Mania, but we can do SummerSlam.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
it's still a big show. Again, there's no basis to this.
This makes a lot of sense.
This is a tinfoil hat conspiracy theory on my part, but it's where my brain went when Michael Cole kept saying, where's next year's going to be?
AKA Wednesday morning, after spending the night with Shawn Michaels, Sexyy Red sent this information to Flanagan.
That's what it was.
This is the real scoop.
I didn't want to reveal my sources, but real scoop. You hit it right on the head.
You have the direct line to Sexyy Red.
That's right.
And basically, and I've been wondering why. Sometimes when you show up, before you put your phone on silent, I hear ski. And I'm like, that's kind of weird. I did not expect
who else
that.
would you have that ringback tone for? Come on.
You know,
I wouldn't expect that from you, Flanagan, but I respect the hell out of it.
You guys call it. I'm not great at hiding things, apparently.
That would be fire. And honestly, it wouldn't. It would be surprising just in the sense of them following through and what is it going to look like. But yeah, 100% picked up on Cole saying that a few times on the broadcast. What better timing than to do that?
Exactly.
Also, this will now be the second iteration of All In. We imagine it'll be a success. The next one was. So it makes it even harder for AEW to come back and be like, hey, no, actually, we were just doing that as a one-off or maybe a two-off. We're not like, no, if you pull the plug on that or change it, it's going to be directly because of WWE.
And you then, like, if they still decide to do All In 2025, if WWE does do SummerSlam in Wembley that same year, like my conspiracy theory, you now have to convince fans to pick your show over that show.
Yep.
Because there's no way people are going to go to both.
Back,
that's going to be so expensive. In a maybe 3-week span, 4-week span. I don't know how far apart they are, but
I don't know. I think you're underestimating some wrestling fans.
Yeah.
I mean, some
people might not pay their mortgage for 3 months to be able to go to both shows.
There will absolutely be some that go to both shows. Or they're flat,
whatever the hell they live in over there.
Then the mayor's going to have a recession.
80,000 people going to both shows? No, most people will pick one over the other.
There's gonna be folks who will try to make it work, and there'll be folks who can't.
Absolutely.
But yeah, it'll be a tough thing. Especially remember how we were talking recently about the gate in Lyon being the highest gate. So they're charging insane prices, especially overseas, because what are you gonna do? Supply and demand. We don't come here often. We gotta charge you this. So yeah, that'll be interesting too.
So it's like, it's inflation. We have to charge more because inflation.
That'll be cool.
Apparently
but you know damn well Tony Khan will absolutely be cutting promos like, yeah, we did this.
Oh, absolutely.
We did this.
100%.
And hey, if it's good for the business.
I mean, maybe not on TV, but his Twitter feed will be must read.
Yep, those likes will be insane.
Yeah.
The other big story besides Sexyy Red from NXT, as this whole conversation just spun off of this, was the Forbidden Door essentially seems to be opening in NXT.
It's opening.
Because you had Jordynne Grace to end NXT come out to challenge Roxanne Perez.
Middle of NXT.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. It was the middle of NXT.
The other one was the end.
Yep.
I apologize. Middle of NXT, Ethan Page came out the end of NXT.
Correct.
2 in the same night is kind of crazy.
Yes. Yeah.
2 non-WWE signed talent to show up on a live show.
Hell, one of them in a night is
that's what
crazy.
I mean.
Yeah. So like 2 is
seems like
genuinely insane.
Unheard of. We saw Jordynne Grace. Was it this year's Rumble?
Yeah, this year's Rumble.
We saw her at this year's Rumble, so we saw that the possibilities were there, or they were becoming, by they I mean Triple H, the powers that be, were becoming more open to letting that door open a little bit, collaborating with some companies and outside of the WWE. But to show up on a random Tuesday in
regular run of the mill NXT.
Yeah.
Kind of wild. Wild for that to happen. And I think it's dope. I think it's really cool. And I don't really know what this means long term. Is this something that they're going to, continue on even to the main roster? Like, I saw people online afterwards saying like, man, could this open the door for AJ Styles to go win the TNA championship one more time?
I really hope so.
Yep.
That would be dope.
Yep.
I mean,
be so dope.
And they bring it to, what is he on now? SmackDown?
Yeah.
And bring it to SmackDown?
Because they almost kind of set the seeds of that on this week's, I think it was this week's SmackDown, where AJ goes up to Nick Aldis and was like, I came so close to beating Cody, just give me another shot. And Nick was like, well, I can't do that.
Yeah.
So maybe he goes to another company that can do that.
Okay, so the seeds might have been planted there.
Right.
Flanabam out here seeing things, folks.
I did read a report that at least NXT people are expected to show up on TNA shows. So it's possible that main roster people show up as well.
This is interesting. I don't know if we had talked about this, but I know there's been discussion before with obviously New Japan, their relationship with AEW and WWE having similar relationships. I think a lot of people thought they don't really need to because they have NXT. They kind of have their built-in farm system. Also, WWE has always had this air to them of, well, you can't get any better than us. We'll rather have our homegrown talent. I think this just shows the leaf has turned. Things have changed. Vincent Kennedy McMahon is gone. There's a new regime. There's a new way of thinking. There's new openness to new ideas that make a lot of sense. And I think this would be cool as hell.
Right.
Like this, I think this makes a lot of sense. I think there could be some really cool crossover there. I think there's also been people who... and a lot of people have gone from WWE to TNA and back, and maybe more backstage or different in different parts of their career, but it seemed to work out well for folks. It seems like obviously the relationship is good. They're not going to give you Jordan Grace for a Rumble, and damn sure not for a random ass NXT if they don't see some belief that they're going to get some reciprocation on the back end.
Right. And now she's going to be the opponent at Battleground.
Yeah.
Which is just wild.
Yeah, and that's going to be a banger.
And what's crazy? I'm now at the point where I'm like, maybe she wins.
God,
I wouldn't be surprised now if she won. Because then that sets up a rematch for, say, Slammiversary.
Maybe, I was going to say, because the only thing is I don't see Roxanne dropping the belt this quickly unless there's going to be a kind of a quicker payoff just because her whole thing was I needed to get it back because it was taken from me without choice because of injury.
Right.
But, I mean, give me those two going back and forth.
100%.
Like, they'll put on bangers and bangers and bangers.
Or you can even do it, Roxanne wins, so now she feels she should get a knockouts title shot.
Yeah,
so she gets that at Slammiversary.
Exactly. Yep. Mm-hmm.
And then that's where Jordan gets her win back.
Yeah. Yeah, you could really, and you could just go back and forth and have a payoff at TakeOver, at whatever. I mean, shit, at this point, it could be fucking Mania of next year where the two of them are both on battling for something.
Would be so dope.
Now, the other surprise, appearance on NXT Tuesday night, Ethan Page.
All ego.
He's already dropped a video saying he's not signed to WWE, but that's...
I read somewhere that's not true.
That's not true. It can't be true.
I
think
he
he's
wouldn't
working.
be on WWE TV.
Yeah.
I think that's
he's working.
something that probably hasn't changed unless there's some agreements and contracts here.
Yeah, I think that's obviously a work. But
and there's no way you're coming in doing what he did without a contract.
Exactly.
Right.
Oh, yeah, like they were going to go let him in,
Yeah.
attack Trick Willie.
Right,
Yeah, exactly. So,
there's no way.
but that's showing that could that open the door for him to show up on other shows? Like, is he going to be now the free agent that you have Aldis and Adam Pearce going after or whatever?
Yep.
That was so surprising.
Yeah.
He was the last person I was expecting to see.
Yes.
I remember I think there was some tweets or something recently where it was like the first time we heard from him or anything. I really, really liked Ethan Page, especially towards the latter stages of that AEW run when he kind of came into his own. He was getting more time. He's been great on the mic. He's always been great on the mic. I think he's really worked his ass off in the ring to just get better and better. I think he could really do some cool, fun stuff. Like I think of someone like Alexis King who went to NXT, and I'm like, nope, doesn't do anything for me.
Yeah.
I think All Ego can go there and be a star.
Yeah, I agree. I think he has very high potential on that. I could see him not right away, but I could see him being the guy who takes the title from Trick.
He reminds me of, and I don't know if this is just obscure and I grasp it out there. He reminds me of Bobby Roode.
You took the words out of my mouth. I swear to God,
Bobby Roode.
Dude, I was waiting for you to finish your thought, but I was literally about to say Bobby Roode, where it's kind of like they're very similar.
Yeah.
And they came from another company, and they just have that. Yeah,
and
I could see him being like that too, where he ends up like maybe getting a run at the beginning, and then being a solid guy, a tag team guy. Down the road, I agree with you.
Yeah, because I'm thinking of like Roode's AEW run. NXT run and how good it was. He was a champ. He really came into his own. Got away from obviously he was a tag team guy for a very long time. Yeah, Glorious was so over everywhere.
The only problem though is that Def Rebels was around, so Ethan Page is more than likely not going to have a banger of a theme song like Glorious.
He's not going to have that. But
Glorious is...
But I can see it. He's in that same mold to me. He is.
Yeah, I didn't put that together myself, but now that you guys say that, I can totally see it. They are very similar.
Yeah. In the 2010s and up, Glorious has to be a top 3.
Oh my god,
ever.
So
100%.
fucking good.
That theme hit. We used to play that in the pre-games before we go out.
Yeah.
The boys, we would just turn that shit all the way up.
Yeah.
And we would just be screaming Glorious all
Bare
night.
minimum, it's the best one with vocals.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Glorious. And Bobby Roode just milked it so well.
Yeah.
He looked like Rick. He
was so
Rick
good,
Rude.
man. He did. Rick Rude, very much
He
so.
had that whole persona down, just that like...
Dope robe.
Yep, the ropes were fire.
Then he grew that awesome mustache.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That was sweet.
Such a good professional.
Bobby Roode should have gotten better love on the main roster.
Yeah, 100%.
But
think the fans
who would have
want
thought in a week that we had 2 pay-per-views / premium live events with some big things happening on them over the weekend that we start with NXT.
Well,
Shout out to HBK.
As Sexyy Red's biggest
That's
fan,
a good
of course,
point.
This is in his contract.
I
We had to
completely
start
forgot
here.
about that.
I was going to walk out if we didn't start.
Sexy
He was going
Red
to twerk
head.
out.
I was going to twerk out.
And we didn't want
if we
that.
didn't start. Nobody wants that.
If we're going to quote Triple H, he said, nobody wants to see HBK twerk. Flanabam.
And that's why it was so good,
maybe
too.
we do.
Because, like, you have HBK and Triple H tweeting about twerking in the right context.
Yeah.
Like, that's why this appearance was so good. Because, again, folks, everything is pro wrestling, and this is just another indicator of that. Like, I was looking at some of the tweets. Like, I was going down a bit of a rabbit hole to see all different people who are, like, Sexyy Red in wrestling, and they were like, wait a minute, I never knew I loved both of these things. Or I love both these things, but I never would have put them together because they don't typically go together. There's so many people out there like that.
Well, think about how many obscure celebrities over the years, especially, like, late 2000s and on.
Oh,
like the most
Ready
random
to Rumble face was wild.
But like even that, like you're talking about like early like the 2000 like
when it was just
David
fucking
Arquette.
just,
Well, at least David Arquette was
he got in there and actually worked.
He was a name though,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? But like I'm trying to think of like random ass collaborations that they had over the years.
Like,
but like
Hugh Jackman showing up
Yes.
on Monday Night Raw and punching out
weird.
Dolph Ziggler in
Yeah.
support of Zack Ryder.
yeah, like,
Yeah,
well,
that was fucking weird. Even the Johnny Knoxville stuff, I didn't really. I think
but that
Sammy
match
made
was so much fun.
Sammy made it work and made it so good. But even that at first, I'm like, what the fuck is this?
It was weird.
But I think starting with Bad Bunny can be credited for opening that door where it's like, wait a minute, Bad Bunny is literally the #1 artist probably, well, on the planet.
Yeah.
And for him to not only just make appearances and just go, he's not up there just twerking ass when he walks on screen. He was in there fighting matches.
Change his touring schedule and music schedule, but as a backseat to go lock himself in the gym for 3 months to prepare for his match. Like, I
think that really opened the door for a lot of these A-list stars to be like, let's go.
Yep.
I think I remember reading somewhere that like he moved to Orlando.
Yeah,
for,
he
like,
did.
For like 6 months to train
he
for
lived
his
in the
first
performance
match.
center.
He said having a match at WrestleMania meant more to him than winning a Grammy.
Yeah. He literally put his life on hold, and that's why you can respect it. Like I know we talked about like the Paul brothers. Not my cup of tea usually, and even Logan early. I'm like, but the guy put the work in. He's gotten better.
Yeah,
he clearly loves the product and he's about it. And the guys and girls respect him, and that's all you can really ask for if you're gonna have that crossover.
Yeah, for sure. And so yeah, that was a big surprise NXT. But over the weekend, Saudi, King and Queen of the Ring, no surprise. King of the Ring, Gunther. Queen of the Ring, Nia Jax.
King of the Ring, Gunther. For now. Are we like what are we doing with that?
He's definitely gonna stay King of the Ring
because it looked so obvious.
Yeah,
that it wasn't a pin.
Right.
Even the camera angles. Graves alluded to it just once.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then obviously Damian Priest alludes to it on Raw. But I'm like, I thought originally they were going to set up, even when Trips was coming into the ring, I'm like, how is Trips going to hand him the crown? Well, what is this going to look like?
He did address it on Twitter.
Oh, I missed that, though.
Yeah, see, they caught up, I think it was Byron Saxton caught up with him. And as far as I know, the video is only on Twitter. And he said, he's like, referee's decision's final. It's up to Gunther if he wants to give Randy a
Trips
rematch.
said that.
Yeah, Triple H said that.
So I guess they addressed it. Because in my head, I'm like, it didn't look like a mistake.
I think it was, though.
Like, and maybe I'm giving Orton too much credit, but I'm like, he was way off the map for that to even be close to try to have a storyline out of it.
I think it looked like he just over-rotated too much, and then he didn't have time to readjust.
And, he came out on Raw already calling out Damian Priest potentially, and it was interesting because what we didn't think about was the fact that Damian Priest already has a match coming up with Drew McIntyre
before,
and then Drew comes out, was like, wait a minute, hold on a second. So now, what do we think is going to happen there?
That whole transition fucked me up.
Because it fucked me up too. Did you notice that Braun?
The way he just walked out, and I'm like, I get it. Like, I knew why Drew was coming out and why, you know, obviously you got to get through Drew first, but it was just so weird. Where Gunther was kind of like, all right, peace. This isn't about me. I'm going to be on my way. Like, I don't know.
But then Braun looks at Priest's belt too. Did you notice that? Braun Strowman. So now what are they, they're teasing potentially Braun Strowman eventually, like what? It's 6 months. Like this title has stories for the next until after SummerSlam.
Well, Money in the Bank. It's the in between Clash at the Castle and SummerSlam.
But how are they going to get there when you have still Gunther and then you have Drew?
So you do. I don't know if this was going to happen, but for some reason, it's what I'm feeling more than likely is going to happen. Punk costs Drew at Clash at the Castle. Braun then challenges at Money in the Bank, and then it's Gunther at SummerSlam.
Okay.
I don't know that that's what's going to happen, but that's what it's feeling like to me, at least, is what.
So then
happen.
Drew doesn't see the belt.
No, he doesn't.
In that equation, a lot of that makes sense, but I have a hard time seeing him not see the belt in the next few months.
I 1000% get that. Yeah. I'm even having a hard time myself. It's just weirdly how I'm feeling about it now, and because I think Punk's very close to being good to go, if not good to go, and I think
so too.
They're not going to want to wait too long on Punk.
And if it's just a run-in, he can do that in 2 weeks.
And they're going to do Drew Punk at SummerSlam.
I can see it. That makes sense. I guess the only thing for me is I'm like, the payoff at Clash of the Castle of CM Punk running in and costing Drew worth the pop of Drew winning. I can see that. I think that payoff can be worth it. But my concern is, like, do you just not put the belt on Drew at all? Like, and maybe I'm overthinking. He just re-signed a contract. I'm sure they gave him a lot of, you know, not promises, but positioning in the card, and we see what he's doing. So I just have a hard time seeing him not being a world champion between now and, I don't know, Royal Rumble, Survivor Series even.
I do totally get that, because I feel that same way. Because I have this thought, and I'm like, no, you're a fucking idiot. That's not what's going to happen. And I'm like, but maybe it is.
The Punk run-in would be epic, though. Yeah. It would be so fucking epic.
And maybe if they want to turn Punk into a heel, how do you, like, that's the perfect way to turn him into a heel. Have a guy screw a guy over in his home country when he's about to win the world title.
Well, would he just be a heel in Scotland? Because
possibly.
Because if you think about it,
as soon as he's going to come back, that's going to flip.
It depends on how they push it going forward after that, though.
Yeah. True. I guess
you could make that the start of the heel turn and then actually ramp up with it once
Drew
they get back
is
to America.
Drew's such a good heel,
tweener right now,
especially in like the one-liners, the zingers, the little things,
and his social media presence. Like, he tweeted something about the Forbidden Door. Actually, so something about the door opens both ways or something like that.
Right, there's a picture of him as TNA champion.
Yeah, doors open both ways, and it's pictures.
That's awesome. That's fucking awesome.
Interesting. Even to tease that. I mean, there's so many different ways that they can go with it. But either way, I like the little twist. We were wondering how they were going to make King and Queen of the Ring interesting. Spreading it out, kind of making it predictable winners. And I think, you know, the wrinkle that they get a championship match out of it.
I like that.
I like that they added that.
And quickly, because we're on it, that promo with Gunther and Priest, and then with Drew and Priest. Yo, kudos to Priest for holding his own, man. He's gotten so good on the mic, and it's so natural. Like, the thing, I'm listening to him and Drew, and I'm like, Drew's stuff doesn't sound scripted, but you know he's like building up to a crescendo or a punchline. This Priest is just like, I don't know what I'm going to say until it comes out of my mouth, because I'm just having a casual conversation like I would around the way with my buddies. Like, I love that style for him because it makes sense and it fits him. But also, I think that's when he's best, when you're really relaxed and just take the reins off and let him do his thing.
I'm also very impressed being from New York. He has yet to curse on camera. While just free flowing, he's yet to be like, all right, well,
a lot of dogs.
Exactly.
But no cursing.
Right. You wonder if that's what he's replacing it with.
Maybe.
I read something that there was somebody working with Damian Priest on his promos. I can't, because Drew McIntyre took a shot at Damian Priest, you know, in his promos and stuff, which I guess because Drew is really feeling himself right now, he felt entitled to. But I think, like you said, like you guys just said, Damian's been holding his own. But I'm trying to find. I think I read somewhere on Reddit that there was been like a veteran working with him on his promos, which
if only Scott Hall was still with us,
for real,
he would have been. I think he was that guy a little bit when he first got there. That would have been so awesome.
It also would have been awesome because you can tell that's who Priest. Like,
that's
draws off of
everything
from him. Even the Razor's Edge,
exactly.
All that stuff is directly from him. The gear, but even the that was a cool thing I love is the one liner where he was just like, Drew was trying to get under his skin. He goes, "Hey, Drew, is your wife gonna be there?"
Right.
And he's like, "You better." He's like, "No, see, I was just fucking with you to see if I can get under your skin, and I can't." Like, that was perfect.
Yeah.
Natural, like, good heel work, but still funny, like similar in that tweener phase. Like, kudos to Priest, man.
Also, some super Scott Hall.
Yes.
Absolutely,
exactly.
Scott Hall would have done.
Yeah. So we like the way that sets up. That was interesting. The The women's side, so we got a lot of question marks over there because obviously Rhea on the sideline, Liv taking her man, taking her belt.
Rhea's on the beach.
Rhea, yo, buddy, what's he doing?
Fuck you, buddy.
What is he doing?
He's living the dream.
He's living the best life.
He just loves
the
messing
dream.
with us, I think.
He's just like, you're going to keep me lower mid-card and never push me? I don't care. I'm with Rhea.
Right.
I got mommy at home.
Also, like mommy on the beach.
Yeah.
Damn. Some of those videos and pictures. He knows what he's doing. Shout out to him, man.
Good man.
Yeah.
Maybe he's into that. Maybe he wants us all lusting over his girl. I don't know. Whatever.
Some people are into that type of stuff.
I see it.
He strikes me as the type that might. He strikes me as the type that might be.
I think they both are.
But so Liv gets the win in an interesting way at King and Queen of the Ring.
Yeah.
Dominic allegedly there to help Becky keep the belt off of Liv, but he ends up screwing her over because Becky is too face to use the chair that he throws in the ring. She ends up getting DDT'd onto it. Bang, bang, boom. Match ends. Liv Morgan is your new champion. And then Monday night, the reports start coming out that Becky still hadn't signed her contract, and her contract is up as of this recording tomorrow, which is Friday, May 31st. And there's a rematch in the cage. So they have a cage match between Liv Morgan and Becky, and it's just to keep all the outside interference out, right? Like nobody's ever interfered in a cage match. Nobody's ever been able to do it.
I can't think of one cage match where somebody
or even a Hell in a Cell for that matter.
Anything that has a steel structure around you automatically keeps people out.
Yep.
That's
3
just
things
physics.
you are guaranteed for some fuckery: cage match, wedding, contract signing.
Yeah.
Fuckery is afoot.
Yep.
Anytime you see those those 3 things happening, you know some shit is gonna happen that they said is not.
Or anytime there's a cake in the ring.
A cake in the ring.
Yep. Balloons. Any set of any kind in the ring is gonna go live.
Was there a
like
cake
an
during
interview show thing.
Yeah.
Was
And
there a
even
cake?
those, if there's props.
That's true.
What about during the This Is Your Life segment? Was there cake in the ring for that? The Rock and Mankind?
I don't think so.
I don't think for that segment. I do remember there being cake in the ring for, I think, celebrating Mankind in a different. Yeah, there was another situation where the two of them were in the ring, but I don't think that one was. I remember there was a bunch of fucking weirdos in the ring and just chaos.
They kept getting
all these
pulled
random
out.
people,
Yeah.
but like, I don't think there was a cake.
Yeah, well, they should have been a cake.
Should have
because
been a
that was
cake.
an all-time segment. That was an all-time segment right
That's
there.
I
another
think
thing
it's still
too.
like the highest rated
There's ever a
segment.
shot in catering, food will be flying.
Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, the cage match, obviously, things still happened, but the Liv retains. We kind of expected that, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
2 things now to think about. First of all, the kiss. Liv Morgan.
Kiss. So you did. I didn't see a kiss watching Monday Night Raw. I didn't.
Well,
Right,
there
that's
was.
also, yeah,
there wasn't a kiss.
I don't know
it was a
what
social
Monday Night Raw.
media exclusive.
I didn't see that.
Wasn't supposed to be.
It wasn't supposed to be. The cameras go off air. Damn it! This guy. He's +5.
I
There goes
love
that bet.
Sahith
There
too.
goes that bet. Anyways,
He's gonna break through soon though.
goes off the air on USA Network Raw. Coming to find out on social media, Liv had given Dominic Mysterio a big old smooch.
They was necking.
He lived out a lot of our dreams. Shout out to him as a married man. I'm sure his wife loved that, to see this dime piece.
I think that helps. That should help my cause, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, for sure.
Look at what happened.
But he's married.
Right.
Mullets are about to go even more dummy than they already
can't
have.
grow one of those.
That's
So
why
I'm
you need
just
a
gonna
mullet and a pencil thin mustache.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's what you need.
96 Eddie Guerrero.
Exactly.
Is that what it was?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, that's.
So this is cool though, because now it's a payoff to all of the teases that we've been seeing.
We
right?
saw that coming.
We know this was coming. Dominic has been torn, right? Trying to stay loyal to Rhea, trying to hold a Judgment Day together. You know, they've been teasing them in the background, coming out from the locker room together, out of a car together. And we know something has been going on between them off camera.
It's even also one clip with her and JD backstage too.
Yes.
Like there was some.
I think there's also one where her and Finn a little time apart get out of the same
like they're
car.
planting
They're
seeds
planting
here.
these seeds. So Liv is your women's champion. And, you know, the Becky question is a real thing now because her contract is still not signed. You would think that WWE would be silly to let her go, but maybe she wants to. I don't know. Do you think that this is a possibility that Becky might actually leave?
From what I read, she just wants time off. So she just wants to take some time off. She's gonna wait a while and then she'll re-sign then.
Completely
or sign somewhere else.
Like in being a mom. I won't say full-time mom because I did see a tweet that was a great correction where they were like, she just wants to be a full-time mom. I'm like, well, she is a full-time mom.
Right.
Now.
Yeah, moms
she
are
just wants more time on her to be with her daughter. But there was also a very poignant.
Husband's not on the road. He just had surgery.
Exactly. He's home. The timing makes a lot of sense. But then also her words backstage to Lyra Valkyria felt very poignant.
Yep.
Very poignant. More so, like, because I think we talked about it last week and we're like, there's no way. And now, if I'm still a betting man, I'm betting she's staying. But now, after last week, the way it played out, I'm like, shit, they kind of got me.
Yeah, her words are very, very poignant. Lyra needs knee pads.
Yep.
Like, I mean,
good point. She drops the title that she technically shouldn't even have had. She really only got because Rhea got hurt.
Right.
She gets the rematch in a cage on Monday Night Raw, has a kind of a moment there. And yeah, I understand that Seth currently is hurt and, he's still signed and all that stuff, but who knows?
Someone's got to keep food on the table in that family.
Right.
But also,
he's still getting a paycheck.
I don't know. It's a weird spot because we've seen this before. We saw it with Daniel Bryan. Whoever would have thought that he would leave WWE. It's
true.
We saw it with Edge. No, I mean, Daniel Bryan, I understand that he was an indie darling, but before his pre-retirement,
No, I
was the guy.
The only reason why I push back a little on him is he did say in a lot of interviews that he wants to be able to bleed again, and he even says that's the whole reason he signed with AEW is Vince wouldn't let him bleed.
It's so
and
sick.
that's what he wanted to do.
Sicko thing to say.
What do you want? $50 million? No, I just want to bleed.
I just want to be able to cut myself with a razor blade.
But Becky, I don't know. I'm just, it's a weird spot for her because maybe she also didn't like the reaction to how people felt her getting the title.
Yeah,
possible.
There was a lot of that. We talked about it openly where we were like, did it make a lot of sense to give it to her if it was just going to be transitional when Liv makes a lot more sense for storyline, especially now with this storyline, which I'm excited to see unfold. If this ends in Dom cutting a promo where he's got a pointer and a laser and it's showing Buddy Murphy's fucking Instagram post, mommy,
God.
This is why.
Yeah.
This is why. Why is this man laying on your peach?
That would be funny.
That would be pretty fucking funny.
That would be
great.
Great.
I'm trying to think of what level of kayfabe that would be. That would be like some Steiner math,
that would
truly
be good stuff, man.
What's the word I'm looking for? What's the movie? Inception.
Yeah.
Fucking wrestling, reality, what's real, what isn't type shit.
Yeah. The only reason why that unfortunately probably won't happen is because Buddy Murphy signed with AEW.
Yeah, it's not gonna happen.
I doubt they're gonna show
But they blur his face out. Please blur his face out.
Like,
come on.
Who's this mystery man?
Come on.
Or they superimpose somebody else's face over it. That would be great.
You guys look awfully buddy. Maybe you can say something like that.
They could do some fun stuff there.
But yeah, so we'll see where this goes. We'll see where it goes.
I think it's gonna be a good payoff.
Also, though, am I the only one who doesn't? I mean, we obviously know where it's gonna go, but I don't think they're there yet.
With what?
With Dom and
with Dom and Liv. I don't think he's fully in it.
No. He's still trying to fight it.
He was his face after the kiss was so fucking funny.
That's my thing.
So
I don't think he's gonna actually be fully in it until Rhea comes back and they have the match.
Yes. No, I agree with that.
I think Liv will tease some stuff.
I only say that just because I've seen a lot of people online who are already
they're not showing up Friday or next Monday or whatever. Haha, we got you.
He's gonna say something like, that shouldn't have happened. It was all a mistake. I'm loyal to mommy or something along those lines. Right. It's gonna be maybe, I don't know, one of these PLEs is where it finally turns.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think I could totally.
Or maybe they do something to screw over Priest. I don't know.
That would be funny.
Maybe that's his way of completely turning on the Judgment Day, because if you think about it, Damian Priest has been trying to be the new mommy, right? They haven't really been gelling too well.
Right.
Maybe this is their way of kicking him off,
right?
Letting him do his own thing or something.
Like Edge kicking the leader out,
and now Liv becomes the leader of Judgment Day, and it's Dom and JD and maybe Finn.
Honestly, I think that is very, very possible, and possibly even likely, because I think I do think this ends with Liv taking Rhea's spot in the Judgment Day.
Yeah.
And I think we've talked about
and
Damian Priest splitting and doing that, and then Rhea coming back being face to win the belt. So I think that checks a lot of the boxes. I totally see it where Dom's gonna come out next week, cut a promo in ring. Maybe Liv is up on the Tron, and she's like, "Well, Dom, what about this?" They show some CCTV footage, and then they just draw it out over the next couple months or whatever. I think this is what's gonna happen. I totally think that's how we see it play out.
Some hotel footage of him showing up at 2 a.m.
Some real rainy shit.
That'd be fucking great.
I can see it.
Oh, 1,000%. 1,000%. Oh, a screenshot of some text messages, thinking about you or something stupid.
I think that's how they're gonna tease this thing out.
I like it though. I actually am really invested in this storyline. I think because there's so many different avenues from it, you know, and then there's the looming return of Rhea eventually to look forward to. So that's really, everybody was talking about it. I mean, the Kiss, I mean, even the next day, I think it had like 19 million views in like 24 hours or something like that. Like people are just horny out there. It's not just us. So, I mean, how many Dominic fans, well, how many even exist? But how many Dominic fans are probably like, oh my God, this is the best day of my life.
But that's what I'm saying. This is not helping your case against nepotism, Dom. This is not helping your case, man. You are living the fucking life.
No, right.
Though I give you a lot of credit, you've gotten really,
nepotism
really good,
to an extent because he has. He's paying
good.
his dues, man.
Absolutely,
he is good. He needs more flannels though. But
just imagine how his real father Eddie Guerrero must feel about this.
Eddie Guerrero, proud.
He's
probably looking down, dude. He lied. He cheat. He steals, man. Come on,
my boy.
He lied, he cheated, and he steal his way to the top.
Well, that was another thing I saw. People like, are they going to have a custody battle? Rhea and Liv going to have a custody battle for Dom.
Custody Dominic Mysterio ladder match.
I mean, come on.
Liv and Rhea.
Yeah, Dom on a pole match.
Everything comes full circle.
I'm telling you.
Everything is pro wrestling.
There's so many ways they can go, and that's why it's so good.
Man, there's so many good things that stemmed off from that. And just a couple wrap things up from the Saudi show. Obviously, Cody retains. We weren't expecting anything different.
No.
As soon as they removed the stipulation of the U.S. title being up for grabs, we knew that was going to happen. But another great showing, I thought, from Logan Paul.
Yeah.
That splash.
I thought another
onto the table, man. I thought Cody broke his damn neck.
Seriously.
The way he hit the chair behind him, like that spot was insane. Again, Logan Paul impresses in every match. His selling, his ring IQ, the way he navigates a ring. Even the way his buddies, and I know some of them are his buddies and some are probably a little more trained professionals that they're just throwing in his entourage, do a pretty good job, too, of always being timing and spots. And obviously, Cody, a lot to be said about Cody and making them look good. But, another really good showing from Logan Paul and the Prime crew.
Yeah. I mean, I felt it was
left speed at home this time. That's probably good. He probably would have gotten a lot of trouble in Jeddah.
I mean, I felt it was probably the second best match of the night.
Yeah. It was very entertaining. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Gunther and Randy, I mean...
Yeah, that was so good.
Yeah.
First time.
Yeah.
First time. That was so good to finally see.
Gunther is just, he has very much made his case as one of the greatest ever.
Quickly.
Quickly, yes. Quickly. That's the point I'm trying to make, is quickly. Because, you think back to Fat Walter. And you go all the way, you go from Fat Walter all the way to this absolute beast. And he just puts on a clinic out there. Like, he is just your typical, well, not your typical, he is your your prototypical, I think is the word I'm looking for.
Like he is a professional wrestler.
Professional wrestler. Like the way he works a match, his psychology, his selling, his everything.
Like a modern day Nick Bockwinkel.
Yeah.
He's
just so damn good. He's like
it's one of those buzzword names from the 70s.
It fit.
He's like a bizarro William Regal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
With a little bit more muscle, a little more size.
Yeah.
But that's what he reminds me of. Kind of,
he's Alex Wright, all grown up, some say.
Alex Wright. God. Where the hell is Alex Wright?
He's somewhere dancing.
I now need Gunther to dance in there. I need some of those.
Oh, my God.
I used to love hitting that.
So good.
NWO
so
Revenge.
fucking good.
WCW, NWO Revenge.
Alex Wright.
But, yeah.
He's the man. And that crowd hit another level when they were out there.
Yeah.
Those first couple minutes where the crowd was just so good. That crowd, and they said it on commentary, they went to new heights. Like, it had been good up until then, and they just took it to a new level.
That crowd was interesting because Saudi crowds usually suck.
Yeah.
Saudi crowds usually make American crowds look fucking passionate.
Yeah.
They were actually, like, a really good crowd on Saturday.
Yeah, it's like they eased up maybe some of the rules. It's like
maybe.
The one thing I will say, and I don't want to get on a soapbox here, the one thing that still really, really pisses me off about Saudi Arabia, and I know why they do it, and I'm all for respecting others' cultures, and I get it, but like Randy Orton being out there in just trunks, but every woman having to be covered except for their fucking fingers and toes is just, it's whack, man. Like, I think the WWE needs to make a stance and say, hey, we're going to come here. You need to let them perform the way they perform.
Yeah.
Like, I know the first couple shows, women weren't even allowed, and now women are allowed. So clearly they're pushing some of the bounds, but I think this is a real big opportunity for, like, WWE to stand on something and maybe have a bigger impact outside of just the world of wrestling.
Yeah.
And be like, hey, if they're going to come and perform for you, they're going to come and perform the same way they would elsewhere. It's no disrespect to your culture or your people, but we're guests here, and you guys should be rolling out the red carpet for us.
Yeah, I
know it's easier said than done.
Yeah,
I get
that's
it. I know
something
it's
that
politics, but it's just
it's
still
politics. It's
me.
religion. It's a lot of things that have existed way longer than professional wrestling. Even when Cristiano Ronaldo went there he's playing there. Like there's his wife. Like they had to
No.
I'm sorry, not even it's not his wife. It's his girlfriend. That's why there was an issue, because they weren't married. There was an issue with them living together, and that's the dude that they paid, I don't know, $1 billion to go play there. So, yeah, that's a deeper issue. It is silly to see. But Becky and Liv, I don't know if this was
Becky's fit was hilarious.
I don't know if they did this on purpose.
It was so fucking good.
Somebody posted
it was like Peaky Blinders.
Two pictures of Britney Spears wearing those exact outfits.
Yeah,
I think that is.
I think that might have been what they were inspired by.
Oh,
so it might have been like a Britney Spears paying homage to.
I can say I feel like that's Britney from "Hit Me Baby One More Time," like
the red
schoolgirl, the red. But then
no,
also
that was
the schoolgirl outfit isn't "Oops, I Did It Again." Was the red. And I thought maybe like "Hit Me Baby One More Time" in the school, like the schoolgirl outfit, button up with the cardigan.
Yeah.
I thought it was something like, because it looked like a tuxedo to me.
It was hilarious.
Yeah, she had yeah, there's a picture somewhere that I saw comparing the side-by-sides with the two fits that they wore, plus whatever Britney wore on tour with those two fits. So I don't know, maybe they were inspired.
Yeah, that's funny.
I can see that.
And then Sunday night, you had...
Did we talk about Queen of the Ring?
Oh, Queen of the Ring. I apologize. I digress.
With that awesome final spot, though.
Yeah,
that was sick.
So clean.
Yeah.
Not to throw shade, but we've talked about this a lot. A year ago, Nia Jax botches that spot.
Probably, yeah. I also just loved the folded arms.
Yes.
Like, that was such a nice touch.
Oh, so good. Yeah, but the way they fell into it and landed it, obviously that's her finisher. And, like, sometimes that finish is kind of like, okay. But, like, that one was done flawlessly.
Yeah. I thought that was such a sick, innovative way to do it.
Yeah. Shout out to Nia, man. I think this was a culmination of all her hard work, getting back into the WWE, working her ass off, getting in the spot. Her embrace with Trips afterwards obviously shown that, how much it meant. It was cool.
And she actually wore the crown.
She did. So I wanted to say that. I'm like, how do we feel about Gunther not wearing the crown?
I actually really like that he did.
I do too, because I'm like, yes, why would he put it on?
Exactly.
Also, it didn't look like it would have fucking fit him anyway.
No.
Like, when he held it up, I'm like, this is shaped not like a head. This is shaped like a fucking rectangle. Who's wearing this?
Right.
But then Nia trying to put it on with all the hair. I'm like, did they not measure her?
I really thought it was going to fall off.
I'm pretty sure somebody knew she was going to win. Did they not think to measure her head to make sure it fit the right way? But kudos to her. She's the queen of the ring. And I think deserving.
I agree. Also, kudos to Lyra. She's really shown out, and they clearly have big plans
Kyrie
for her.
this week, like, she's to the moon already.
Yeah.
Quicker than I expected.
I think there's a chance. I mean, probably not likely, because once Rhea comes back, but there's a chance that she's the one that beats Liv and takes the title.
At this point, I could see it.
Not soon.
Not now, but
I don't know.
9 months from now, maybe 9 to 12 months from now. But
give it the somewhere around the Rumble. Maybe even you'd start pushing her a lot more at Mania. Not that she wins the Rumble, but she faces Liv at Mania. And wins the title
this
there.
last 3 weeks has shown they really love her.
Maybe she takes it off of Jordan Grace.
That'd be fine.
Would be an interesting way to do it.
Maybe
Jordan Grace is such a wild card. She's so good, can go with anybody. Now, obviously, with the Biancas and the Jades and some of the bigger, stronger, competitors, she fits right in. Yeah, that'll be dope.
So AEW pay-per-views still on Sunday nights, which just suck. I don't know if it's because of date
Memorial
purposes.
Day saved us this weekend.
They did.
Was so glad it was. I got to sleep on Monday.
It's way too long, man. I'm sorry, dude. Like this pay-per-view was way too long. It just, what time did it end? Like 12:30?
Yeah.
It was also a weird pre-show. The pre-show was like an hour and 40-something minutes. Like, it wasn't even
like an hour and a half.
But it was longer than that. It was like...
In the first half hour to an hour, there were no matches.
No matches,
talking.
Yeah, that's where they can just cut that. Cut that and take those couple matches at the bottom of the card, make those the pre-show for an hour,
or
and give
put
us
them
3
on
hours
Collision
of
the night before.
Yeah, it's just
that was my big I feel overall King and Queen of the Ring was a better overall show, but I thought Double or Nothing had better matches.
Yeah, I agree.
But
with that.
there was too many, and it caused the middle of the card to drag.
Dude, big time.
Yeah, we say this every pay-per-view.
Yeah.
It just
and then just real quick, you already know it's going to be a 4-hour show. It was phenomenal to see him back. Why is it a 20-minute promo with Adam Cole and MJF?
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't need to be that long.
It really doesn't,
but it was so good.
It was great.
It was good, but it's
and
like...
the Triple H Jacket was fucking hilarious.
Oh my God, like perfect.
Yeah.
Fucking perfect subtle shot. Not so subtle if you know, but if you don't know, subtle shot.
Yeah.
Oh.
I love that he's doing all this when you know he's going to end up in WWE eventually.
Eventually, 100%.
He will
tattoo
be damned.
Tattoo be damned. Tattoo be damned.
Absolutely will. He's going to have to get that covered up.
I don't know, was it Taz who said it? Was like, well, you're putting ink on you, but like, nah, we can figure that out. Also, The positioning tells me very much. If you get boots that are 2 inches taller, you're never gonna see it.
Oh,
so
the
like
boots he
it's
wears,
very
you
intense.
won't see
Yeah,
it.
it's very
So,
intentional. But it was surprising. I was not expecting to see Ink.
No.
I was hoping to see him. Wasn't expecting to see him, but I know we talked about it. I was hoping to see him. Even the promo, when they went backstage and showed it on the package, and I'm like, he's not going to show up, though, is he?
Yeah.
And then the music hit, and then he came out. I'm like, who the fuck's this guy?
Mm-hmm.
Like, he looks insane.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it was
the Triple H jean jacket,
that was
leather
so
combo,
good.
so good. So that was cool. They started strong, literally strong.
Yeah,
and they started with what I thought was the best match of the whole weekend.
I almost missed it. We had it on.
Roddy and Ospreay.
We were sitting outside. I was out there with a buddy, and I was like, "Oh shit, this already started." I threw it on, and it was like the match had just begun. I'm like, "Oh, did not expect that." And I'm like, "Is this like a rerun or whatever?" And like, nope. Or I'm sorry, I was like, did I international somewhere? And I forgot that it started earlier. Like, why is this on as a first freaking or second match of the night? Roderick Strong, Will Ospreay. Again, I mean, just a great match. It was a great match.
Roddy Strong's backbreakers. Just insanely good.
Will Ospreay almost killing himself.
Yes,
on
2 minutes in,
I know.
I was convinced his neck was broken.
Same.
I was absolutely convinced. I'm like, no, that was real. Even his reaction at first, I'm like, I was looking at, was it Rensburg, whoever it was, I was like, this is real.
Yeah.
And then to go have that match after that.
Yeah.
Insane.
I'm like, why are they keep re-showing this?
Yeah,
Like,
it was nasty.
This man's dead.
Mm-hmm.
Why are we watching him die again and again and again?
It's not Darby Allin.
We'll get to him. We're gonna get to him. Toni Storm, awesome,
solid match.
She's so good.
I thought it was a really good match.
Yeah, Deep really.
Yeah.
She
Deep
looked
good.
She looked really good.
I thought it was a
Kudos
good match.
to her,
Toni
man.
Storm, just one of the best things in wrestling right now. I think she's just, her gimmick is just so good. She nails it. Shout out to her. I really enjoyed that match. I'm not gonna be honest. I think I was cocked by the time Orange Cassidy came on. I wasn't really paying attention. Was that anything?
The match was good,
it was
but
good.
like that's a match that could have been
Again,
on Collision or
fucking
Dynamite. Like, it doesn't need to be on
This
pay-per-view.
isn't WrestleMania, guys.
Right.
Like, why are we like?
And they added that match last Wednesday.
It was
like
spot
right
for
before.
spot,
It didn't
same
need
match.
to happen.
Like, it was the same exact match.
That's the shit that pisses me off.
Yeah.
And okay, listen, if you're paying to be there, there's two ways to look at it. I've been at WrestleManias where they were fucking 7 hours long, and it's brutal. Honestly, like, it's not enjoyable. You get to a point where you're just in an arena to enjoy it for that long of a time. You're spending a ton of money because you're either buying more food, drinks. It's like, what did this end up being? 5 hours or so?
Just
The main card was 4.5. It went 8 to 12:30.
Yep.
That's just main card.
Yeah,
And that's not counting the hour and a half before that.
To
Right.
me, I'm sorry, that's too
nuts.
long. It's
It's
too
nuts.
long. Maybe it's not as long as the Manias I've been to, but still.
But to
it
that
felt
point,
long.
like, I think that the average fan forgets, because if you're sitting at home and it's 4 weeks away from the show and someone's saying, hand you a sheet of 12 matches and you're like, oh shit, I want to see all of these. Why wouldn't I want to see all of these? But particularly if you're going there, you're like, all right, you're forgetting about all the adrenaline in the building that's going to go up and down, all the other money, all the things. You're going to be exhausted halfway through the card. Same for the people at home, like especially on a Sunday night. Like I think the holiday this year with Memorial Day kind of saved them in that sense because people were able to stay up later, but and you don't have to do it.
No.
You have now 3 shows that run weekly. You got more than enough areas to put everyone out there and get stuff. Not to mention Dark and all the other things they do. It doesn't need to be this. But I'm glad Trent Beretta had his own music because he came on last week to Best Friends music still.
Yeah.
So
I don't even like Double or Nothing is one of their bigger shows. Or
Yeah,
it's supposed to be
it's
one of their
supposed to
bigger
be,
shows.
like,
So I don't
yeah.
even mind them making that one specifically 4 hours. But if you're going
But
to
they're all-
make certain ones 4 hours, don't make all of them 4 hours.
Yeah. I just feel like this is a recurring theme with AEW, and
Part of me just thinks like Tony Khan thinks, I'm charging people $50. I got to give them their money's worth.
I think so, and I think he's also like, it's Orange Cassidy. He has to be on the card no
That
matter
too,
what.
yeah.
Like certain people, and it's just like, no, but now they're oversaturating. And then when you don't have a story, like there's really not.
talk about somebody that has to be on the card, Jericho.
Yeah,
that match was the worst match of the weekend.
That was when I took my piss
Another
break.
one that just
I
didn't
did
need to
not.
be there. And also, I love Jericho trying to spin it where he thinks he's laying into the hatred and like owning it. Where
He's trying to be meta.
yeah, but it's not.
It's not working. No, it's not
He
working
thinks
at all.
it is though.
He-
That's
of
the
course
thing
he
is
does.
Jericho.
It's like, no,
Jericho
bro, we're
thinks
laughing
everything
at
he
you,
does
bro.
works.
We're not laughing with you. We're laughing at you.
Still,
this is not
like even though you
compelling.
think you're leaning into it, it's still not working.
No.
And I just hate it for Big Bill, man.
Same.
He's
And
just
now
getting
Brian
caught up in
Keith.
the mix. Yeah, Brian Keith,
Brian
which is
Keith's
even
so
worse because
good,
he
and
was,
like he doesn't need to
when
be
he
doing
got
that.
over there and was going on,
Yeah.
even being in the matches, and I'm just like, yeah, that's not who I expected.
No.
in
Or
that
who I
spot.
want.
Yeah, definitely not who I want. Yeah, but go cruises. Go do residencies on cruises.
Yeah.
That's what your destiny is at this point.
Go on maybe Fozzy should go on tour.
Mm-hmm.
And then begins the run of some of their bigger matches of the night, which honestly, I feel like you add in like Ospreay match from the beginning and Tony Storm.
That's like if you cut out
like two matches.
If you cut out three matches.
Three matches.
If you cut out the 6-man tag, which was good but could have been a pre-show match.
Yeah.
You cut out Orange Cassidy and
you cut out Jericho.
You cut out FTW.
Yep.
The rest of that card is a show of the year potential.
Yeah, seriously. Because then, I mean, this starts a great run. To end the show, you ended great. You ended with Moxley and Takashita, which I thought great match again.
Great match. I hated the ending, but great match.
I didn't like the ending.
Yeah, which was really good. The Adam Copeland and Malachi Black match, this one had it all. I mean, it had pretty much anything you really wanted, to be quite honest, including unfortunate injury
at the end
to Adam Copeland, which, by the way...
Why would he land on his feet?
Well, I think he gave up halfway. I think he decided mid-jump, he was like, fuck.
You're 50 years old,
bro.
Like the fact that he didn't explode his knees is impressive.
I don't, because when he fell, I'm like, that was the spot to land all the impact there and just give him a little elbow. Like, why wouldn't you do a crossbody? I would think a crossbody is also the safest thing to do.
Because Malachi can catch
you. Of course it is.
Like,
and Malachi's young.
Nuts.
Malachi can take a bump.
He knows what he signed up for. Like, we knew the spot was coming. Yeah, when he landed, I'm like, that can't be good.
Ask anybody who's taken a swanton bomb in the last 5 years. They get all of Jeff Hardy. It reminded me, too, of, speaking of Jeff Hardy, when Adam Copeland, Edge, speared him TLC 2, WrestleMania 17. He said that, Jeff Hardy said that, I think Edge got the worst of that because I at least got to take a flat back bump.
Yeah.
Right.
Whereas Edge landed on his knees.
Down.
You know, or half his feet in his knees. And that was eerily similar to this cage jump, which, by the way, dude, once you're up there, you got to commit to it.
Yeah, you have to.
And you got to remember, the spear is Edge being 23 years younger.
Yes. Exactly, yes.
So he's 23 years older, and I was thinking, I'm going to land on my feet.
Yeah.
I'm going to destroy my knees.
And shatter my tibia.
Yeah. I'm surprised.
Yeah, he was lucky that's all it was. Like, that had, like, compound fracture written all over it.
This still, like, he's going to be out for a long time.
Yeah, he has to have surgery
honestly,
on it now.
I hope he never comes back.
That's a long recovery, dude. And, like, honestly, how old was he? 50 what?
Hang it up, man.
50?
50-ish,
Go home and be a dad again.
I don't know.
Please.
All right, let's look at it this way. Now with this injury, he's going to be out months. He's going to be out, I think,
broken
the rest of
tibia,
2024.
That's a good 9 months.
He could be out till next year.
That's a good 9 months.
If he's going to come back, it might not be till Double or Nothing 2025.
If you want to put a bow on this thing...
He's going to come back at WWE all of it.
I was going to say, if you want to put a bow on this thing, do you just say, all right, hey, AEW, that was fun. I got to do some shit that I couldn't do in WWE. Do you just put a bow on it and come back at the Rumble again?
You have to be able to take a step back and say, how lucky am I to have gotten a second and kind of third run?
Yeah.
We didn't think we were ever going to see you back again.
No.
You were able to come back. We all saw the documentary. We know how special it was for you. We know how hard you busted your ass to get back in shape. You had that great run in WWE. Then you get to say, you know what? Cool. I'm going to leave and go to another company and prove I can still do it, be a champion. I haven't loved his AEW run, but he's had good matches. He's had good spots. And he's been just deserving of this kind of final lap. Let this be the moment to be like, you know what? I just broke my fucking tibia at 50. Yeah. This rehab is gonna suck. I'm not gonna want to do it and have fun. I had my Christian match. I had all the things I needed. I was a part of Sting's send off. There's really nothing else for him to accomplish. Hang it up, dude. Please hang it up.
One more tag match with Christian.
Maybe
I think if had he not gotten injured, that's eventually
where this is gonna end. Probably
those two teaming back up again. Probably against Nick Wayne and Luchasaurus to start at least.
I just think like you're I don't know. To me,
I think you were playing with house money, man.
This recovery is going to be brutal.
Yep.
It's going to be brutal for him, and then you're going to have that fear now coming back from this injury of doing any spots like that takes away a lot of kind of what he likes to do.
My biggest fear. So my one complaint about Edge since he came back from his 9 years off that we thought he was done for forever. His matches have been a little slow paced for my liking. And I think they may, if he does come back, they may slow down even more now.
Big time.
That's why. And what is that going to do? That's only going to lend bad to his legacy.
Exactly.
Fair or not, whatever. But that's all it's going to do. It's just going to give people shit to poke at him and fuck with him, which has already been happening a little bit in recent months. It's only going to get louder.
He runs the risk of being a modern day Ric Flair.
Ugh.
Where you're like, you went way too long.
Or Undertaker.
Or Undertaker.
Damn, he's going to be at the bar soon cussing fucking bartenders.
The only person that did it right was Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Well, Shawn Michaels had his retirement match, and that was it. He never came back.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, what are you thinking about?
Shawn,
what are you referring to?
I don't know. We can call Sexy Red. She would know.
I don't know what.
So that was Michael Shawn.
that was Michael
in Saudi Arabia. That's who that was.
That
guy was bald.
That's a good point. He was bald, and his eyes weren't looking at the same thing at the same time. Yeah, no.
That guy has superpowers because he also punched off Kane's hair.
God.
I didn't know that could happen.
When I first found out that was a part of the mask as a kid, I'm just like, wait a minute.
Well, I don't think it always was.
I think it became.
No, at first point it was like a little bushy. It was kind of like a tighter mullet at the early stages. But then I was just like, but even the first reveal, like I'll never forget the first time I saw Kane when I was just like, what the fuck? Scariest thing ever.
So I think he was going bald, and that's what it became.
Like, yeah. That's probably what it was. He was losing his hair, and they had to attach that shit to the mask. But shout out to Gangrel too. That was a cool spot.
That was cool, man.
That was a cool spot, and he looked good, man.
He did.
Yeah.
He looked good.
Great shape. He's been
60.
still actively wrestling.
Yeah,
I think he's still actively wrestling.
But like those DDTs, he looked good. I popped, dude. I legit popped when he came through the ring. Like I love a good through the ring spot.
And I guess it was me. I didn't even notice. I don't know if Edge or Copeland's been wearing these tights. I know he's alluded to some Brood stuff in the last couple of weeks, but I noticed after Gangrel was there, his tights said Brood on them. I don't know if you guys.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, Adam Copeland's tights said the Brood on one side of the leg. So
shit.
I missed that at first. I only saw it after Gangrel, but I was like, he was even,
I love that.
I definitely think that would have been this
with the
pay-per-view
Christian
exclusive. Like this was the first time.
Well, even that too. How cool would that have been if that could have happened with him, Christian, and Gangrel all together? Would have been.
Gangrel, man, I popped. That was a dope moment.
I know, and now fucking poor Gangrel comes back for this moment, and now Copeland's going on for the next 9 months. So I doubt they're not going to use Gangrel alone. So
they used the Gangrel card too soon. Damn it. All right, to put a bow on Double or Nothing, you had
phenomenal TBS title match.
TBS title match. Willow, Mercedes Moné.
It was better than I expected.
Can I just say, I think Willow Nightingale is going to be a star.
Oh, absolutely.
I think she's going to be a star. I'm a big fan of hers. I think she works really well in the ring. I think she just has a great personality.
Yeah.
She is like the AEW Bailey.
Yeah.
Like very similar in
Comes
that
a better
sense.
promo every day.
Yeah. I think she's a star, and I think that it was unfortunate that she was the sacrificial lamb to the Mercedes Moné debut. So she didn't get really an extensive run as a TBS champion. But because how long did she have it? Like a couple months?
Not even
2 months.
Weeks.
Yeah, I think less
she
than
wanted
2 months.
Dynasty.
Yeah, so that was like
the very next pay-per-view.
Yeah, so she was the sacrificial lamb, but they made her look great.
Yeah.
And now Mercedes Moné, finally, after all this time, is here, and she's a champion. And she looked good.
She looked good. In the ring.
Yeah.
She did.
I liked her. I liked her. A little.
She looked good. They both performed really, really well. Yeah. I think the only thing that is tough for me, and I was thinking this previously, is that finisher for Mercedes just doesn't work for everybody.
She needs a better finisher.
It just doesn't work for everybody. That's just not a universal finisher.
That was the best it's looked since she's used it, but it still isn't a good finisher.
No, it just doesn't look clean against too many people at this point, and that worries me. Well.
Yeah, but I thought Willow was great in that match, and I'm very happy about that. Swerve, Christian Cage, obviously Swerve with the dub. Pretty good match though. Shout out to Christian Cage, man. Still putting it on.
For me, I've suffered from the same thing that I think a lot of Edge matches suffer for, where it was very slow paced, and it took, for me at least, a bit to finally get to a point where I'm like, oh, this is great.
Yeah,
like it definitely took a bit to actually get into it.
Yeah, it didn't feel as exciting as I guess hoped. Right. I feel like Swerve is just not getting dealt a really good hand as a world champion.
I mean, they had the money team there.
That was cool. That was like a really cool personal pop, and obviously pop culture pop for Swerve. That was awesome. But like, I don't think they're doing him any favors,
Warriors
man.
entrance was fucking
dope. That was dope. But I don't think they're doing him enough favors, man.
Although
I
they
think
technically
he's getting
did
caught in the shuffle. Yes, yeah.
Like Prince Nana wasn't supposed to be the one with the glass bottles. That should have been like Nick Wayne or somebody.
Yeah.
But whatever. I'll let that slide.
They tried.
And
shout
then
out to Nana.
Yeah, they end the match with the Elite versus Team AEW, and then shit just got weird.
Anarchy in the arena.
It was a shit show. Justin Roberts told us it was going to be.
Yep.
It was an absolute shit show. And here's what I will say: I am thankful that the flamethrower came into play.
Yeah.
It wasn't just there as a prop or for a random what the hell is he holding a flamethrower for? somebody got lit on fire.
Fucking lit Jack Perry on fire.
And it was
What
so
the
good.
fuck?
Did you guys like when he came around the corner? He was soaking wet.
Yeah.
Did it click right? Because I'm
No,
like,
it did not.
Because
Oh,
in my
it did to
head,
me.
yeah. Because I'm like, that's not sweat. He was not sweating like
Yeah.
that. And then I thought
they
that
did the
too.
thing where he dunked him in the
but not
cooler.
his whole body.
Well, his whole upper body.
Okay.
But
'cause
my,
I was
my
gonna say,
also
he was
thing,
like,
but my thing, I was looking, I'm like, that's too thick to be
yeah,
water.
that's
Like,
what I'm like,
is
that's that
thicker
flame
than water.
retardant, whatever it is that we've seen them use
Yeah.
before in different
Yeah.
spots. And then I'm like, oh shit, it's gonna happen. But then I was just like, fuck, is this gonna go well? Timing wise,
Yeah.
couldn't have gone any
Yo,
better.
couldn't even,
Could not have gone any better.
that could easily have been like
So bad.
botchamania.
Oh my God.
Like, this is a spot we'll
the
never
extinguishers
forget.
don't work.
Yeah.
Like,
But it.
I mean,
it
Jack
went,
Perry genuinely could have died.
yeah,
Yes.
100%.
You saw
100%.
a little Jack Perry
Yeah.
barbecue there real
Yeah.
quick.
And he did good. Like, I give him credit. I can't imagine being on fire and not immediately stop, drop, and roll. Like, he did a couple little twirl spins. He was in character for a good, 3 to 4 seconds before he stopped, drop, and rolled and hit him with the extinguishers. Kudos to him.
His dad was a.
I was going to say,
he
he's
was a
got
great
it in
actor.
him. Yeah,
So,
his DNA.
It's in his blood. Maybe he missed his calling to be a stunt man.
Well, I mean,
or maybe he could still be a stunt
Well,
man.
I'm saying you can argue pro wrestler
He is
is
stunt, yeah.
the
He's
pretty
best
good.
version of a stunt man.
And also, some
been
people
pretty
would
good.
argue he probably should still go chase and pursue acting.
and be a stunt man. But yeah, I mean, it was a fun match.
It was what Anarchy in the Arena.
I was surprised to see how many people were upset that it closed the show, and I'm like, no, this absolutely needed to close it.
Like,
a show that long,
come back. That's
a show
the
that
only
long,
way
you
people are
need to
gonna
close
stay
it with
you.
just insanity.
The only way people are going to stay with you through the end.
If you had
Imagine
that
going to
match-
that and then going back to
And then going to Swerve
Christian would have been
that crowd would have
dead.
been dead.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
so dead.
You have to close with that.
Yep.
If you light somebody on fire, that has to be the last thing that happens on the show.
That's a valid point.
Yep.
Or if you hang somebody upside down while they're bleeding for 25 minutes, that also has to be the last thing on the show.
That was a dope spot. The pumps with the tacks in them, obviously their own Reebok pumps. I think the sneakers are awful, but it was cool that they used that partnership and branding. But that was a crazy spot.
Yeah. Also,
just him just hanging there.
Lower him sooner, guys.
Yeah,
God damn.
He was up there.
But that's Darby Allin.
That again, yeah.
The dude,
But he's not even in control of that. Somebody else could be like, I know what you want, Darby, but fuck you. I'm not letting you die on the show.
It just it's Darby Allin, the guy. He only knows pain. He only knows. The pictures that I've seen of him with the flamethrower. No, the one with the flamethrower and Jack Perry's just on fire.
Yeah,
but somebody caught. It is an incredible picture. I got to try to find it, see if I can put it in a video of him, his face, and he just looked way too excited to set a man on fire. He was. Way too. I'd be. Listen, I know how psychotic this dude is, but I would still be very nervous about lighting a man on fire.
I think the only thing
So even if they were someone I didn't like, I imagine they're probably cool. I'm sure good friends. They came up in the business together, obviously. So that's got to be crazy.
They're considered 2 of the 4 pillars.
Yeah, they're the pillars.
AEW.
Yep.
Yeah,
although probably 3 pillars now.
Yeah, I think that other guy might not be a pillar anymore.
Yeah,
true. He's done too much dumb shit.
Replace
him with Daniel Garcia as the 4th pillar, and also give Daniel Garcia the TNT title.
Absolutely, I think Darby Allin's biggest regret about that whole spot was he wasn't the one lit on fire.
Yeah, but that's probably it.
I think
it was
wanted
envy.
To be lit on
He had
fire.
Next time I want to light myself on fire.
Right.
Yeah, there was envy in his eyes, saying that he should have been the one to be on fire.
Absolutely.
That might be the payoff.
I guess the second best thing is
I can see it coming.
Pulling the trigger of the fire trigger. But yeah, interesting, very long event. Cut out a few matches. I think we all agree would have been a very good one. Still was enjoyable.
I'm glad I
Still a good pay-per-view.
Purchased it, but I think if you cut out those matches we talked about, I think it's better than King and Queen of the Ring.
Yeah.
But because of those matches, it dragged too much. And King
and I think for me,
a better pace.
The MJF promo, while it might have gone a little long, I think even the part that was long was probably the beginning part. Just Cole's part was a little long, but it was so good and so necessary to give him that space to where I would have probably sacrificed full matches just for that.
Oh, absolutely.
I think it would have. And he again, not that we know he can't cut a fucking promo.
Right.
Absolutely fucking nailed another promo,
and
beginning
also,
to end.
Given what he said, it had to be on pay-per-view.
Yes.
He can't cut that promo on Dynamite or something
Nope, didn't need a New Japan or a Vince McMahon. That was just fuck yeah. That's
you
good
can't
shit,
quote
man.
the Wolf of Wall Street on cable television.
I've seen so many terrible knockoff Wolf of Wrestling T-shirts since he said that. Though AEW's got their own, and it's nasty and generic, but there's been so many just gross T-shirts.
Oh, they got to do
I
it.
really hope
Etsy
that
shop
doesn't stick
T-shirts.
as his new nickname.
I hope not.
I really just hope
either.
it was just saying that as the reference point.
Hammered it home, the tattoo, he made his fucking mark. I'm interested. I think, you had mentioned, seems like they're gonna go back to him and Cole. Cole can actually walk on his own now, which was mind blowing. So I think he's actually getting there. So I think I wouldn't be surprised we get that at All In. I wouldn't be surprised if they come back to that because I don't know.
It really does depend on Cole.
Yeah, 100%. If he's ready by then. If he's ready by then. But I could see that being like I can potentially see, and they could go. Obviously, MJF, they can go anywhere, and obviously he's going to want that title sooner rather than later.
Right.
But I could totally see him going up against the whole Undisputed Kingdom from now until All In, basically giving time for Cole to get healthy and then go run through the whole gauntlet all the way up through Wardlow. Obviously, we know the story's there. You can have that be a build for a few weeks, and then maybe the crescendo it all in.
With Wardlow.
Yeah, or start with Wardlow.
That's a good start for it.
How many WWE Hall of Famers are felons?
I would say at least 50%.
No, you got another one. Donald Trump, guilty on all 34 felony counts.
Nice. Oh, really?
So now WWE Hall of Famer and nothing else, Donald Trump. Guilty on all 34 felony accounts. What?
No, and nothing else.
Did I? Yeah, no, that was good. That was my favorite part.
That popped
That
me
was
hard.
my favorite
Did
part.
I say something?
No,
Was I say something wrong?
That was my favorite part of the clip.
I was not expecting
Dude,
that.
Hall of
I guess
Famer.
the only sadder thing is those charges will, I'm sure, they amount to no time in jail.
Most likely, but
So,
Oh yeah, he's gonna appeal it.
34 charges is nuts.
that's crazy.
Yikes.
That's more titles than Triple H and Ric Flair combined.
Yeah.
World titles, yeah.
World
Overall
titles. World
titles,
titles,
you know.
yeah, world titles. You know what I meant, Flanaban. You got you and your damn technicalities.
Yeah.
I don't got time for those right now.
We established a few weeks ago I'm in the midst of my heel turn.
That's a good point. I love that.
I gotta go
Kayfabe
full. I
cousins.
gotta make sure I get full heel for my LeBron match.
Yeah, my
Oh
son-
yeah, that's right. I forgot you guys have a match coming up at SummerSlam.
I mean, he's obviously going to be the face in Cleveland.
It's funny though because by then he'll probably would have resigned with the Lakers or randomly bounced around to like Philly or some other random place, and he'll end up being a heel again. Yeah.
Well, he was seen courtside at the Cavaliers game against the Celtics. You know, so people are saying maybe he goes back to Cleveland after Bronny doesn't get drafted.
Some people like he was scouting Darius Garland. Who knows? It's a whole bunch of chaos. But I think we know he's probably gonna end up where Bronny ends up. So.
Right. So what do you guys think of this as my opening heel promo? In SummerSlam, I come out, my entrance, I obviously grab a mic because I need to get extra heat, and I go, Drew Carey was wrong. Cleveland doesn't rock.
Oh, shit.
Like, I mean, that's pretty hot, right?
Yeah.
Like,
I don't
but you
I'm going to be top heel after that line.
Yeah, no. But you need to have Drew Carey out there with you.
Yeah.
Like, you need to be out there as if you're, like, presenting for the city of Cleveland.
But there's probably a good chance if it's in Cleveland, he might be, like, the guest commentator or the guest something for this.
Right.
So he's going to, like, you're the Kane to his Pete Rose.
Yeah.
They try to reenact.
Or the Kane to his Kane when he eliminated himself from the Royal Rumble.
Drew Carey, also WWE Hall of Famer.
Yes, yeah.
So maybe he comes out.
How are we not in there at this
point? That's a good point.
Jesus.
WWE Hall of Famer who apparently is not a felon. As far as we know.
He's probably got a couple petty crimes. So I think that's the thing. We need to go become felons if we want to get in the Hall of Fame.
Right.
We got to get in the Hall of Fame first.
How do we start?
Okay.
Let's do tax fraud. Fuck taxes.
Yeah, it worked for Wesley Snipes.
Yeah, and Martha Stewart.
Martha Stewart.
Mike the Situation.
No, Martha Stewart was insider trading.
Oh, shit. Yeah. Was it?
She did her bid though.
Damn.
She unlike some others, she did her bid.
How'd she do that before like smartphones, insider trading? I didn't even know that was like.
She's Martha Stewart.
I feel like that's a much easier way to get away with it.
True. Yeah.
It's less trackable.
I never said I was smart.
Well, that was like Bruno Guimaraes from Newcastle.
Yeah.
Did you see that? Bruno from the midfielder from Newcastle. So apparently, I also learned his last name is not his actual last name. It's the name of the island he was born on.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes, in Brazil.
Yeah.
So
Portuguese.
apparently,
what's his actual last name? Do you know? Is it
some-
Smith?
No.
I really want it to be Smith.
I have no.
His parents just
I have no
migrated
idea.
there from
But
fucking
he's now under the
Cleveland.
microscope because he has been essentially not betting on games, but everyone on the island would bet that he would get a yellow card, and then he would of course go out and get a yellow card. So they're like, everyone on Guimaraes Island is winning because he fucking does this. So now he's fucking under investigation.
Insider trading.
And I'm like, he probably was thinking like, oh, they'll never catch me for this. It's a yellow card. People get those all the time for crazy things. I'm not point shaving. I'm not this or that. But it might come back to bite him in the ass.
Yeah, but then again, I mean, Ivan Toney.
Yeah.
He also was betting on matches. He's got a slap on the wrist, missed a few games, and he's going to be on the English squad for the Euro Cup. So
had one of his better fucking years.
Ronaldo and Messi both had some tax issues in this country of Spain. So
I mean, most Real Madrid and Barcelona players did.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like it'd be really weird for soccer players to get sanctioned really hard, just given how corrupt FIFA itself is.
Like
who the fuck are they to then be
or
like,
UEFA?
Fuck you. Right? Yeah.
I think the biggest crime in football history, soccer history, is PK.
The almost Super League?
No, PK fumbling Shakira. That's a fucking biggest crime in humanity.
Yeah.
Cheating on her?
I know.
Shakira?
I know.
Drake?
That's it. But for every beautiful woman out there, there's a man who's sick of her, except for my beautiful woman.
Yes,
we are mixed beautiful women. But that's
exactly.
Sexyy Red,
more specifically.
That's what they say.
Don't get sick. Dude, please, you can never get sick of Sexyy Red.
I'm our number one fan. That'll never happen.
It is 50% of our show at this point.
That's true. She carries the shit.
She does.
If it's everything, it's pro wrestling.
What the hell did we miss? Anything? I don't know. We got.
There was a funky story about The Rock. More and more, the people are turning on The Rock.
Yeah. This is what happens, man. This is what happens.
You're overexposed now, Rock. You did too much. This one, it was about fucking In-N-Out. Did you guys see the In-N-Out scandal?
No.
In-N-Out burger.
So apparently, The Rock has now gone to In-N-Out for the first time 3 times. Apparently
that's right. I did see
social
that.
media.
I did see that.
And he went and The Rock. He's does long posts. I'm in the drive-through line. I'm selfies. I don't know what to order. I've never been here before. Do I get this? Do I get that? I don't know the lingo. Yada yada. And then people are like, Rock, you have the exact same post from 2019. Word for word. 5 years then ago. You have the exact same post from like 2017 where you took the food home and plated it and put it on your thing. I was like, I need to get some In-N-Out for my girls. So he's just not looking good right now.
No.
Yeah,
everything he does. Moana 2 is about to come out. Trailer just dropped. And my man is just catching everything in all strays. There was also another person who was like, during COVID, there was a Christmas break where nobody could go home because they were filming. The Rock broke that, went home, got COVID, and put the whole production on hold.
That was part of that article.
And there was Black Adam. No, what movie was it? There was another thing with Black Adam where
it was the Christmas movie they shot. The
stuntman did all of his everything in Black Adam. They CGI'd his face on. He did more than just stunts. He did actual scenes. Like, it's just... I don't know, man.
That's what happens with
not
overexposure.
Looking good. Yeah, it's not looking good for you, Rocky.
Man. Yep. This is how. As soon as you start talking about presidency and you try and make anything but the NFL happen in the world of American football, people are gonna break it down.
Yeah. And luckily for you, Dwayne, you will always have WWE. Because if not, I don't know. And I also think this speaks to a lot of him now immersing himself back within there. Because he's like, well, at least I know I'm good here.
Yeah,
they're always gonna love me here.
Oh, that was
a
great fallback plan.
Yep.
Not a bad one.
No.
Oh, he's smart, if nothing else.
Anything else? Did I miss anything?
The only big thing is at Dynamite, Will Ospreay's now going to challenge
Swerve
for the title.
Because he won that casino. That Forbidden Door Casino Royal was pretty fucking dope.
Solid,
man. There were some names I wasn't expecting there.
I don't know how I feel about that match. Just because, like,
I know you have.
How do you have one of them lose?
That's what I'm saying.
Like, it's too soon to take the title off of Swerve.
Yeah, Swerve's not going to drop it. Obviously, Ospreay will drop it because he'll have another belt, but I don't know why you'd want to give him a loss.
Right. The only other thing I can think of, and I'm kind of they do it a lot, is like I could see it being a 60-minute draw. And like I kind of hope they don't go that way, but I wouldn't be surprised if they go that way. And then also to fall back to the opening story about how Sexyy Red didn't fuck up when she took the thing off the belt. Christopher Daniels fucked up when he was trying to take the TNT title off of that little stand it was on because it was stuck.
And also Excalibur fucked up because he called Kazuchika Okada the TNT champion when he was walking in.
Yes.
And I had tweeted, I was like, if the fucking EVPs want to be actual heels, you will walk out, walk into the ring, hand Jack Perry that belt, not say a word, walk back up the ramp, go to the next segment, which is what they were going to until Daniels came out. But I was like, if you want to be real heels, do that. And now it's just like we gave him the belt, and it's just like you can't do a fucking thing about it.
They can't do that because Tony Khan loves the tournament.
Yes, yeah,
of course. He needs to make sure he gets that tournament.
Big tournament guy.
Anyway, he can.
I hope they put the belt. I would love to see Daniel Garcia get the belt. I think it'd be a great push for him. I think he's been deserving and kind of teetering and hanging out there. I think it'd be good for him.
I completely agree.
But there's a lot of worthy folks at this point who could get that belt, and I think also give him a shot in the arm.
I wouldn't even be mad if Jack Perry actually wins the thing.
Oh yeah,
I think that would be cool too.
No, if they build it the right way, sign me up.
Also, I think Matt Jackson may have had the line of the weekend when they were doing the final countdown. He was like, "Turn that shit off. It's cost me $200,000 every time it plays. We're on a budget."
That was good.
Like, that's
that
hilarious.
was fucking good. Even just that going to the music. They showed the whole crowd when the beat dropped, and it was That's in some cases that. The Dapper Yapper, the way he announces the match, that's some of the things I love about AEW. How they're like a lot more just off the cuff and like fuck it.
That and Kazuchika Okada with the Rainmaker Drive sign. That pop be good.
Yeah, it's good time. I'm happy AEW's looking like, I don't know if it's money wise, back end stuff maybe not, but at least storyline, some of the stuff that's coming through, it seems like they're on a nice little bit of an uptick after just not some great stuff for a little bit.
Yeah, like we've seen it time and time again in wrestling. When you're on every week forever, you eventually have some downtime. Right. And some times where things are not too good. But overall, we're in a pretty good time, pretty good space with a lot of action coming up this summer. So we're excited for that. Anything else you guys want to get off your chest?
SummerSlam 2025 at Wembley. You heard it here first.
All right, I like that. We're gonna have to clip that one for real. Do you guys have
that'll get us in the Hall of Fame?
Absolutely.
Yeah, because Nick's going to be a felon and break into the fucking stadium and demand a match from LeBron James.
Two birds, one stone.
Or it will never get us in the Hall of Fame because I spoiled it on
there. Exactly. Now it's out with the public.
Right,
Thanks.
yes.
Great.
Whoops.
Living, walking, breathing dirt sheet. You are.
Bruce Pritchard's gonna be at your door tonight.
Oh yeah.
Seriously.
He's gonna be like, "Fuck you."
What an asshole. All right, fellas.
I'm just gonna constantly hear rumor and innuendo from him and.
But at least you'll be able to go
Conrad
join.
Allegedly.
You'll be able to go join Vince when he starts his new
That's
new
true.
thing.
When he starts his new promotion, I'll be there.
It's going to be called WWF. Bring it back. He's going to pay off World Wildlife Fund and be like, fuck you, I want my shit back.
Are they even still around? I
bring
thought
it
I
all
read somewhere they
full
went out of
circle.
business.
They must be because they still bleep WWF everywhere.
Yeah.
And at this point, I'm like, is there not like a fucking?
There must be, that's got to
like,
be some type of mob shit.
How is that not still a like? I don't
That's
know.
got to be some type of mob shit. I'm sorry.
Like, how is there no statute of limitations on that? Like, we know
yeah.
when, if it was from, we know if I'm watching the Manhattan Center, then it was
Right,
okay back
yeah.
then. So like, leave it alone.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Roger that. All right, fellas. Great week. Another great episode.
13 in the books.
13 down. Keep getting those views on our YouTube. Subscribe, like, share to all your friends, man. We're having a blast with this. It's only going to continue to get better. I've talked to some people. We're going to have some guests lined up very soon. So stay tuned for some more guests. And we'll see you back here next week. Peace.